everyone. This is Tim with Online Big Blue. We'll bring you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Just recutting the episode for NFL Talk from across the pond and back. If you don't know it, go find it on YouTube and not YouTube, podcast and everything. It's another show that I do. I do multiple shows, but it's another one I'm really proud of. So NFL Talk from across the pond and back. Go look for it wherever you can find podcasts. I wanted to talk about some things with the Giants today. I want to talk about Dalvin Tomlinson. I want to talk about Daniel Jones becoming Pro Football Focus's glamour boy. Is their quarterback of the week. Okay, Daniel Jones had a good game. No denying it. Do not deny that Daniel Jones had a good game. But quarterback of the week for Pro Football Focus, I can think of 4 other guys that had much better games than Daniel Jones. You could start with Kyler Murray, 29 of 36 for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he threw 3 interceptions, 5 carries, 31 yards for another touchdown. He had 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Even Sam Darnold, 26 of 38, 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. You could even go Lamar Jackson, 18 of 26, 239, 16 carries for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he had 3 touchdowns. I mean, really? I always thought Pro Football Focus was a joke, and we've always joked about this on the show, but really? That is the top quarterback performance? Derek Carr threw up another big one, another 28 of 37 for 382 and 2 touchdowns in a win in Pittsburgh. Sam Darnold's going 2-0 with his second win. Kyler Murray, second straight fantastic week. And if you saw that 77-yard bomb to Moore in that second quarter, Kyler Murray is something special. And I've always said that. And then Lamar Jackson beats Patrick Mahomes? And he was responsible for the final 12 points of the game to beat and have them take the lead and beat Mahomes. But Daniel Jones, who loses to Washington, is the best Pro Football Focus quarterback of the week. All the Daniel Jones lovers are going to be like, oh my God, now we can put this under my pillow with his picture as well. Listen, Daniel Jones had a good game. There's no denying it. You can't deny it. He played well, but he always plays well against Washington. Let's see what he does over the next 5 weeks. Let's not get overly excited about one game in Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus, anyone that watches or listens or subscribes or does anything to Pro Football Focus who subscribes to this channel, please unsubscribe right now. I'm begging you. Because you don't know football. Because if anyone follows Pro Football Focus, they just don't know the sport. Speaking of the Giants, I wanted to talk about Dalvin Tomlinson because I had mentioned Dalvin Tomlinson a couple times during the last week. I don't think you can underestimate the value of Dalvin Tomlinson and what he meant to the Giants over the last few seasons. I mean, I don't think you can take that away from him. I mean, he was a stalwart for this team. For going back from 2017 for 4 years. And we let him walk with that minimum contract in Minnesota. Now, is he playing great in Minnesota? No, the Minnesota defense isn't playing that well. He's got 5 tackles, 2 solo, 3 assists, no tackles for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. But I think the impact that this is having on the Giants is greatly underestimated. And I've said this before. I thought that losing Dalvin Tomlinson was going to hurt this team because of the fact that he was the stalwart in the middle. He did the dirty work. He did the things you don't see in the stat line. That makes me laugh when I used to play. My job, and I had a specific role in the team. I was not the most talented going back to my high school and college. I was not the most talented. But my role was to punish people that came over the middle. They could catch the ball. They can run free in the middle. But my job and my goal was to punish them to the point, legally that is, that they would understand that if you make that catch and you come across that middle, you are going to get laid out. And it's legally, of course, but you were going to get laid out. Now, that didn't show up as a tackle. Well, it did show up as a tackle. But that didn't show up in the stat sheet of what the purpose was. Because the purpose was, and even my coach, one of the position coaches would tell me, it's so when the fourth quarter comes around, and they're going over the middle to catch that pass for a first down, and they think twice before they do it. And that causes them to hesitate, and that causes them to either drop the ball or turn the ball over. That was my role, and I did it well. Dalvin Tomlinson's role on the Giants was to do the dirty work, was to plug that middle, was to allow the extra second or half a second to delay the running back getting into the second level so Blake Martinez could find and get into the hole to make either the tackle for the loss or tackle for a short gain. His goal also was to take up at least, if possible, 2 men in the middle of that line so players like Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence could have an impact. Is it by coincidence that Dexter Lawrence right now has 1 tackle for the Giants? One tackle. Game 1, he played in 64, Dexter Lawrence that is, he played in 64% of the plays. 42% of plays, had nothing on the stat line. Game 2, he played in 65% of the plays for 46 plays and had 1 tackle. That actually wasn't even a tackle, it was an assist. Do you think that's by coincidence? Leonard Williams, old king of the almost sack. And people are going to be like, why didn't you play the sound effect? Because you know why? I didn't have the sound effect ready. That's why I didn't play the sound effect. I'm in a mood today.
King of the almost sack.
Got a lot going on at the house. I'm in a mood today. The move is coming up quickly. A little too quickly for me. I'm not ready. I'm ready to get out of this house. I'm ready to get into my house because I can't wait because the basement is 75% of the basement is completely refinished. And then there's like another section that's not. And my wife is giving me that section. Of course, a sub pump is there too, but that's on the other side. So I'm going to build what I always wanted to build in that basement. Because I do a lot of podcasts and things. And I'm on a lot of other shows. So I want to rebuild and have like just an area where I could do things. So I'm excited about that. But even if we look at Leonard Williams right now has 8 total tackles in 2 games. He has 2 quarterback hits, which he got in the first game. He had none last week. He's playing in 77% of the plays the first week for 51%. 51 plays. He played in 80% of the snaps last week for 57, which was a total of 57 plays. And he only had 3 total tackles with no quarterback hits. Are we seeing a pattern here? Are we seeing something through 2 weeks? We're not even going to get into the run game yet, but we're going to get into the run game. But are you seeing a pattern? The Giants' inability to plug the middle of that line is causing a problem. The Giants' inability between Danny Shelton and Austin Johnson to hold the middle of that line and potentially take up 2 offensive linemen is not allowing Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence to do their thing. Why? Because now the focus of attention is going to be on Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. And that's kind of the simplest way to break it down. And right now, teams understand that they can go off tackle left, off tackle right, and then bust it up the gut. Why? Because we have no ability to control the edge from either the defensive end position or the outside linebacker position. Outside of Blake Martinez, if you look at our linebackers, if you go outside of Blake, who's the next stalwart on the team who's been making serious contributions? It's red. This is the way to look at it. Blake Martinez has 21 tackles in 2 games. The next linebacker has 9 tackles, which is Reggie Ragland. And I'm not talking the quasi linebackers between Peppers and Logan Ryan and Xavier McKinney. But that is the next linebacker. After that, the next linebacker with the most is 8 with Lorenzo Carter, 7 with Tay Crowder. Now, how many tackles for a loss do these guys have? Tay Crowder has 0. Lorenzo Carter has 0. Reggie Ragland has 0. Blake Martinez has 1 tackle for a loss. Oh, that music is popping in today because, again, I wasn't paying attention, but that's all right. I was singing Shaggy earlier. I don't know why. Oh, because I was in the video. Mr. Boombastic, baby fantastic. Mr. Lover. But look at the tackles for losses. We don't from our linebacking core, we don't have any tackles for losses. The only person that has 2 tackles for losses is Ojulari, and those from his 2 sacks. The wonderful Danny Shelton's got 3 tackles in 2 games. Austin Johnson at least has 9 tackles, but he's not doing the job. And he's also got a sack. He's not doing the job that old Dalvin Tomlinson did. And it's like it's mentioned in the running game, it's the same thing. If you keep running it to the outside, sooner or later, you're going to bust it up the gut. And the problem is there's nobody slowing anyone down into the second level, which is why Blake Martinez only has 1 tackle for a loss. But he does have 21 total tackles. For $10 million, you took away a part of your defense. And again, like I said, he does the dirty work. And you can never discount anyone that's played the game will tell you. You cannot discount the players that do the dirty work. Because like I said, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. It doesn't show up that, okay, this is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. No, you're never going to see that. But what you are going to see is you're going to see a better defense. And I laugh because even when I say it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, let's look at Dalvin Tomlinson, 17, 50 tackles, 18, 59, 19, 49, 20, 49. So he was making the plays, he was making the stops. But it just doesn't, it just doesn't help that we don't have that cog anymore. And I said this a couple weeks ago. I said this a while. Actually, I said it when Dalvin Tomlinson signed with Minnesota. I said the person that is the 2 people that are going to be hurt the most by this are going to be Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, because you are hoping that those 2 guys are going to be your rush guys. Whatever you get out of Ojulari is going to be a bonus. But you need Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence to be your rush guys, to be your guys to get after the quarterback. Now, they're going to need to have the secondary play better. They're going to have that. The secondary is going to have to play better because you need to hold. Because if you're going to get an interior rush, you are going to need to the secondary is going to have to hold for an extra second and a half or an extra second. In 2 games, and Ojulari is leading your team with 2 sacks, and he hasn't done much else. And Austin Johnson is second on the team with 1. You see you see there is an issue within that line. And like I said, you see there is an issue with inside manning the inside run, playing against the inside run. Going to have a great show. I'm actually going to do a show on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going to do a little Eli Manning retrospective from the draft to the retirement, to the jersey retirement, to the 2 Super Bowls. We'll also talk about the Giants game, talk about the Falcons game, which we should win. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun with the Eli thing. Hope everyone can join. And again, this is Tim and the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, please subscribe. And the big thing that means that'd be awesome.